My name is Jeannie, and I am the mother of a type 1 diabetic. I am not a medical professional, and I'm not trying to give any medical advice. I am just one type 1 parent speaking out to other type 1 parents who are newly diagnosed. Hopefully I can give you a little bit of information, save you a little aggravation, and but maybe not, I don't know. So actually this video is to finish up a video I started about a month and a half ago. Time is actually precious around here, as I'm sure you probably know. So, yeah, I started about a month and a half ago, and we were discussing, the medical industry and how large of a role they play in your life now that your child has a lifelong disease. So today I just kind of wanted to touch base on a couple other things that go along with the medical industry. One being, the fact that maybe you have insurance through your job, or maybe, through some other source. But I just wanted to kind of bring it to your attention now. It's a good idea to go ahead and start planning to save money in case something ever happened with your job, or you were unable to pay for your insurance for some reason, or if you just had a job change and had a break in insurance in between, that you have enough finances to get yourself through a break in insurance. So I think supplies now on a modest end are in upwards of $1,500. They can go even higher, especially if you have a pump or a continuous glucose monitor. So it's a pretty good amount, and you don't want to be stuck fighting to find supplies for your child if something like that was to happen. So the other thing I think I want to discuss, and I've probably said this in other videos if you've watched my videos, is that a continuous glucose monitor, if you have not already applied for one, or your endocrinologist has not already written a prescription for one, I highly recommend it. A continuous glucose monitor can read your child's numbers every 5 minutes and give you a guideline. Are they staying steady? Are they rising? Are they falling? You can look at graphs and grids and see, find, sorry, I'm not thinking straight, patterns, and and just it's very helpful. It's a very useful tool in managing type 1 diabetes. So in the very beginning, before we had our third diabetic education class and gone over sick care for my daughter, she actually became sick. And what should have taken, possibly 6 weeks at the most to get a continuous glucose monitor actually took almost 3 months. It was a long and horrendous process. And I will tell you that when your insurance is working great and you're getting all of your supplies, then that's great. But there will come a time, if you haven't already experienced it, where your insurance company will either change, they'll decide they don't want to supply you with certain supplies anymore. They're not a covered item that they want to provide for you, or they will decide all of a sudden that they are going to contract with one continuous or one meter, and so then you get stuck changing meters, and not being able to use the one that you have now because they won't cover the strips for that one. And then you have to change it up and use whatever meter they say. I actually had my insurance company switch to a complete different company. So when my pre-authorization was sitting at the pre-authorization department, the insurance company changed. So that started my process all over again. There are a lot of things that can go wrong, and I think that's probably the major point of my video here is, understanding the structure of the medical industry, understanding all of the umbrellas, and understanding who does what and who can help you with what. So, for instance, in the beginning, when my daughter was first diagnosed, I remember getting phone call after phone call from different people. I had no idea who these people were, and they were asking me, well, is there anything I can do to help you? Well, I don't know if you can help me. I don't even know what I need. So, you know, make it a point when these people call you to ask them, well, who are you? And what kind of role do you play in my child's life? And what can you provide me? How do I know, you know, what I need, you know? So you can actually ask those questions. You know, it's me, I didn't. I was ignorant to it. So I was just like, I don't know, you know? So, so hopefully that'll give you a heads up. But I know there's medical advocates. You know, that might be something really good to get, you know, just get hooked up with one, because, you know, if something does happen later on down the line, you need as many people as possible on your side, to help you get through that process. You know, so there's also case managers with your insurance company. You can get a case manager for your child. I have a case manager. I have a medical advocate. I have contact numbers at the Medicaid office. I have contact numbers at the insurance company. I made friends with people on the phone. I mean, if you have to lay it on thick, the squeaky wheel gets oiled. That's all I have to say. And as far as I'm concerned, you know, I call the insurance company the troll, because they're like a gatekeeper. And like I said, everything's great, you know, when the gate's open, but as soon as that gate closes, I mean, you have to jump through hoop after hoop after hoop to try to get, you know, supplies, you know, provided for your child, and they're life-threatening, you know, and especially life-threatening to your sleep. So anyways, that's kind of my spiel on that. You know, just ask questions when people call, understand the medical, you know, how the system works. So, for instance, with the continuous glucose monitor, this just gives you a little idea. The endocrinologist wrote the prescription for the continuous glucose monitor. That prescription went to the company Dexcom. Dexcom then sent it to a supply company who, you know, who handles all of the pre-authorizations for them. That supply company then sent the pre-authorization to the company that is contracted with my insurance company to handle their pre-authorizations. Now, this is not, I'm not making this up. I literally had to track down who did what and where and how, and I mean, it was a horrific process. But okay, so my insurance company actually switched in the middle, and then the insurance company that took over gave my supply company the wrong fax number. So then my pre-authorization sat in limbo for 6 weeks, because it takes about 4 to 6 weeks for them to process. So nobody was even looking for it for that amount of time. So it took them about 6 weeks to realize it was limbo and wasn't supposed to be there. Then it was supposed to be expedited. I don't know how many times. It was declined for something silly. To make a long story short, I ended up having to call Rick Scott. I called his office, and I called 10, 11 times until somebody listened to me, because my daughter was sick. I had not slept in probably 14 days, and I had fought tooth and nail, called every single day, went through all of their hoops, you know, got sent round and round in circles, and there was absolutely no reason why, you know, why I shouldn't have gotten somewhere. So, whew, it's exhausting. So, so anyways, I'm sorry I went on that little tangent there. But, you know, it's all to tell you that I went through hell, and I don't want you to have to go through that. So if everything is going great with you now, good. But now is the time to get yourself educated, to get some support around you, and to understand, you know, exactly how, you know, how the system works, so that when the time comes that you have a problem, which since your child will have this disease for the rest of their life, that time will eventually come. You'll have a better footing and know how to handle it. So I guess that's probably all the rambling I need to do today. So I'll let you guys go, but hopefully this was helpful to you, and good luck with everything.